Okay.
Good. How are we doing?
Yeah, we're doing well. We're doing well by His grace.
Thank God. We thank God. Thank
So, just a quick announcement. So, this evening we are fortunate once again to have with us Lawyer Wisdom from Wisemart Solicitors, based in
Boston, London.
Dustin, London. So Lawyer Wisdom is one of us. He's born and bred in Ghana, and then a legal professional based in the UK. The office is, just as I've mentioned, is Dustin, London. So usually we have Lawyer Wisdom giving us legal advice at least once every month. So that's every last Sunday of the month, where we come to get a few minutes of some lecture, and then followed by question and answer session. And then after every session, we provide his contact details, inshallah, for people in need of legal advice to follow up, and then to receive appropriate advice with regards to immigration. I know today's session, we have specific 2 areas to tackle. That's a 2.5 years, and then how to reduce 10 years to 5 years visa process. So inshallah, as we always say, we are happy once again to have you, and then our audience are also logged in on time today. I must commend everyone today, because for once we have been able to have a good number at the start of the program, which is really good, and that also tells us that it is becoming a popular program on our virtual activities. So thank you very much once again. I think that is just by way of intro. You could start now, please.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Hello. They are muted. So
yeah, that's okay. It's always a pleasure, my brother, to be with my people. I am always grateful. I say my brothers because we are brothers and sisters, brothers and we are brothers. And I didn't tell you, I was a teacher in the Medina Islamic JSS in Accra.
Okay.
Yes. So I have been with
with the Muslim community.
Yes, I have been with so we are one people.
That's right.
Thank God. So today there is the topic you have rightly put there is how to reduce the 10 years to the 5 years. But there is something very interesting I want us to talk about today before we proceed.
All right.
Now, on the 9th of this month, which is June, there was a very interesting case law that came out very, very good. It is the case of Akinsanya. Yes, it's a Nigerian who took the Home Office to court. And the reason he took the Home Office to court is that, if you have a child that is a British citizen and you have 2.5 years to be here, the Home Office says you cannot apply under the EU law, which is we call it Zambrano.
Zambrano, yeah.
Yes. Now, Zambrano means that you have a child that is a national of the country in which you are. Now, if they want you, the parent, to leave that country, it means you have to go with the child. The child hasn't committed any offense, so why should you live with the child?
Okay.
The child has not overstayed, so why should you punish the child by removing the child from his country? And the child shouldn't be punished for the sins of the parents.
That's right.
So why should you remove the child? Now, if it is only the mother or the father that is looking after the child, and you want that parent or those parents to leave the UK, then technically you are telling the child you have to follow your parents and leave. So the Zambrano case is a Belgian case. It's an EU case. So the Home Office accepted. In Belgium, it says that you have to give the right to the parents to remain in that country so that they can look after their child. The Home Office accepted it in the UK, and then they started applying. So if your child is a British citizen and the father has nothing, the mother has nothing, both parents can apply based on the child that is a British citizen. Example, the child who was born here, lived in the UK for 10 years, the child has become British.
Okay.
You can't tell the child to leave the country. He has committed no offense. She has committed no offense. So the Home Office said, okay, If that is the situation, then we will give the parents the leave to remain so that they can look after the child that is a British citizen. That law is under the EU law, not under the Home Office or the UK domestic law.
Okay.
Now, when the Brexit took place, the Home Office then said, okay, if you have a child that is a British citizen and you can apply under the domestic law and go and pay £2,612 20p, you have to apply under that and not move to the EU law. So they want money rather than applying the law.
Yeah.
And then this person called Mr. Adesanya says, no, there is nothing in the case of Zambrano which says that even if I have 2.5 years under the UK law, I cannot switch to the EU law for 5 years or for indefinite leave to remain. So if your child is a British citizen and the child has been a British for 5 years, you can go straight for indefinite under the EU law.
Okay.
But under the UK law, you have to go 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5.
Okay.
I have a friend who calls it quarter piece, quarter piece, quarter piece, before you get one bottle.
Yeah.
And every time they are charging you £2,612 20p. If you multiply that £2,612, it's over £10,000 in the 10 years. So Mr. Adesanya, Akinsanya said, no, it's not right. So he took the case to court, and the court, the High Court, has asked the Home Office to go back and reconsider their policy guidance so that parents who have children who are British citizens, they can apply under the EU law. So if your child is a British citizen and is not yet 5 years as a British, you can apply for 5 years under the EU law. But if the child became British, example, the child was born here, lived here for 10 years, you applied for British citizenship for the child, and the child is now 15 years, it means the child became British 5 years now.
Okay.
In that case, you can apply for indefinite straight away, even if you have 2.5 years under the UK law. And this case came out on the 9th of June, 2021. Today is the 26th, so that is just about 3 weeks or so ago. So I put it out on my WhatsApp platform today that people who have parents of British citizens and their child is a British citizen for 5 years or more, you can apply for indefinite. If your child is a British citizen for less than 5 years, you can apply for 5 years. And after the 5 years, you go for your indefinite. However, the caveat is this: the Home Office has applied for permission to appeal against the decision. Yes, they have applied for permission to appeal against the decision. But they have given 6 weeks for people to apply whilst they are considering the decision.
Okay.
So any application has to be made within the 6 weeks. We don't know what the outcome of that appeal is going to be. If they win, then we lose. But if we win, then they lose. So my advice is there's no Home Office fee to pay. Under the EU law, there's no Home Office fee to pay. You don't lose anything. So you put it in anyway. If it's successful, you get your indefinite. If it's not successful, you still carry on with your 2.5 years to be. They will not cancel your 2.5 years leave to be in the UK. So for me, this is a splendid, splendid news that allows parents who are on the 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5 to apply to switch to the 5 years or the indefinite straight away, depending on when your child became a British citizen. The case is the case of Akinsanya, and the judgment came out on the 9th of June, 2021. If anybody wants to read, I can give you the citation. It is Akinsanya versus the Secretary of State for the Home Department, 2021 into square bracket, EWHC, that is the High Court. It's in the High Court. Okay. And it is 1535 into bracket admin. I'll go over it again. The judgment is R into bracket Akinsanya, bracket close, versus the Secretary of State for the Home Department, square bracket 2021, capital EWHC into bracket admin, ADMIN. When you go there, you read the judgment, very interesting judgment. And the judge said, there is nowhere in the case of Zambrano which says that if somebody is on 2.5 years, you cannot apply under the Zambrano case law. So splendid news, good news. Yes, so that is for me to start with.
Just a quick question on that.
Yes,
will
sure.
they require a DNA test in terms of the
DNA
application?
is not required.
Okay.
Their own policy says they should never request for a DNA test. But obviously, the parent's name has to be on the birth certificate to show that you are the parent of the child.
Okay.
And you also have to show that not just the parent, but you are a joint carer of the child.
Okay.
You are caring for the child. So we need a school letter, GP letter. If you buy things for the child, we would need probably receipts or bank statement to show that you bought things with your account and the money leaves the account, evidence from pictures with the child, etc., etc., your tenancy agreement, pay slips, bank statement to show that you have funds to look after the child. All these are the things that will require the child's passport, child's birth certificate, registration certificate, your passport. We put all of these things together and then we can make the application for you. However, there is another caveat. This case is coming out of the case of Zambrano. And Zambrano, the principle is that if they ask you to leave the UK, it means the child also has to leave the UK.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, if there is another parent who has leave to remain or British, if they ask you to leave the UK, would the child be leaving the UK?
No.
No. That's another caveat. Yeah. So these are the bits and pieces that we have to consider when we are making that application. Okay. Yeah, so it's the case of Akinsanya, which came out on the 9th of June 2021. Excellent case, brilliant case that can help a lot of people to settle in the UK. Yeah.
Okay. Because just a follow-up question in relation to that, but I think your last remarks kind of answered it in a way, in the sense that if the child has been here with the mother for quite some time before the father happens to join, so of course they might lack some kind of documentation to prove his involvement in the child's life. So is there a way to navigate through that, or?
Well, in that case, I would advise that the father go on. If they have nothing, then they better go on the 2.5 year route.
Okay.
Because the Home Office will by all means use the caveat that even if we ask you to leave, the child's mother is here to look after the child. Yeah. The child is not going to live with you, and therefore do not come under the Zambrano carer. Okay. But are they married? Are the parties married?
Yes.
Well, if they are married, then of course there is no harm in putting it in under the basis of a joint carer of a British citizen. Yes.
All right, that's good.
Thanks that very much. Yeah, you're welcome. Sorry, I'm trying to
adjust your camera.
Yeah, just okay. Maybe it's a bit. Can you see my Sakura?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So that is just the beginning. Now,
I think you have a bright light right on top of you.
Okay, I'm sure.
Probably that is reflective.
Is it better?
No.
My room is just so bright, maybe.
Yeah, I think, I think it's better now. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's good.
Okay. Now the next thing is with the case of with the EU settlement scheme. Today is the 27th. Am I right? Or 26th? Today is the
27th. Yeah.
27th. Wednesday, EU settlement scheme is over. Wow. So if you're an EU national, you have to apply for the settlement or the pre-settled status before Wednesday. However, there is still a window. What they said is this: if for any reason at all you were not able to apply before the Wednesday and you have a good reason why you didn't apply, then you have to give them the good reason why you could not apply. Example, you are not computer literate, so you couldn't apply.
Okay.
They themselves gave us those reasons.
Okay.
Another reason is you don't have a permanent address. You move from place to place. So, and you need a permanent address to apply. So they themselves say, if you don't have a permanent address, you can still apply after the 30th. Or maybe you were unwell. It's also another very good reason. And they also added, you didn't even know that there was anything like this. So, so they themselves have posed the question and they themselves have provided the answers for us. So that is what it is. So even after the 30th, you can still apply for the settlement scheme or the EU settlement scheme, and you should be fine. Okay. Right. So that is just the updates, bits and pieces of updates, which is very important. Today, I want to go to my topic, how to reduce the 10 years to the 5 years, reducing the 10 years to the 5 years. A very good example is what I just said. If you are on the 10-year route and you are a carer of a British citizen, you can reduce it to the 5 years by applying for the leave under the EU regulation. The Zambrano case I talked about, the case of Akin Sanya. If the child is a British and has been British for more than 5 years, then you can apply for indefinite leave straight away. And also, there are other categories of people. Example, somebody who is a parent of a British child, you've been given the 10-year route. That is one category. Another category is that maybe the child is British or the child is 7 years old. You've also been put on the 10-year route. Or you are married to a British citizen and you have a child. You've been put on the 10-year route as a partner. Or you made an Article 8 application. Your child is 7 years old or even younger than 7 years, and they gave you 2.5 years under Article 8 on the 10-year route. Or you have lived in the UK for 20 years and you've been granted 2.5 years on the 10-year route. How are you able to reduce the 10 years to 5 years? There are some categories that you can reduce if you change to that category. So first of all, I will look at parents. Parents. If you are a parent of a child that is a British citizen or is 7 years old, and you have been given 2.5 years on the 10-year route, number one, you can switch by applying for the new leave, which I will say you need 4 requirements. RIFE. Everybody should keep this in mind. RIFE. RIFE. RIFE or RAFIA. RIFEA. No. The R stands for relationship. You must still continue to have relationship with your child. You take the child to school, you bring the child from school. You take the child to GP, you bring the child from GP. You don't go and leave the child in the GP and come back home. You have to take the child and bring the child. You don't take the child to school and leave them there. You have to be involved. Now, this goes to us, the men. Sometimes we think that once we have the child, that is it. No, we have to be involved in the child's life. I know people whose children have not got any emotional attachment to them because they were not involved in the children's lives. So what happens is they send the money, they provide the money, but there is no emotional attachment. I know somebody whose father died, and he told me, I'll send the money for the funeral. I don't even feel that I have a father because he has never been involved in my life. So they send the money for the funeral, but there is no emotional attachment. And that normally happens to we, the men. We are running around, we want to provide for the family, but we detach ourselves from the emotional side. That is not very helpful. So I'll use this platform to advise my brothers that no matter how much we are providing for the kids, let us try and involve in their lives. Sometimes, boys, if your child is a boy, just take a walk with him, just outside, just have fun. They will forever live to remember those things. If it's a girl, take them out, take them to places of interest. They will forever remember. I remember the times I spent with my dad. He's gone, but I still remember those things. So please, this one, It's not legal advice. This is brotherly advice. Yes, let's try and get involved in the children's lives. So there has to be a genuine and subsistent relationship. How do you show it? Letter from school, letter from GP. In fact, I did an application last 2 weeks. The child wrote a letter to support the father's application.
Wow.
And when we sent it, the Home Office did not ask one single question. They just gave it to him without any problems.
Wow.
Some of the things the boy said in the letter is that, if not for my father, I would have been a gang member.
Wow.
But my father's presence in my life has brought me out from a gang, because I would have had more association with my members than with my family if there was no father in my life. He said, my father has helped me to stay away from crime and using knife and acid. I mean, this boy wrote all these things, and if you read it, it is so emotional, so touching. So when we took it, the Home Office just gave it to the man without any questions. So what I added to that letter was, it is better to prevent the child from getting into crime than to try to correct the mistakes after the child has got into crime.
Okay. That's right.
And it worked perfectly. So letter from school, letter from GP. Even if the child is of the age they can write, let them write a letter, and we'll use all of that to support the application. Number 2, that is for the R. The I is immigration status. You must have a valid leave. Don't wait until your leave expires before you apply. If it expires, you become an overstayer. If you overstay, it does not help your case. So you have to apply before the visa expires. That is the I. So we have R is the relationship, I is the immigration, F is the financial. Now, because you are doing it as a child, based on your child, you don't have to meet the financial, but you have to meet the maintenance. You don't meet the financial, but you meet the maintenance. I believe we have discussed financial and maintenance some time ago.
Yeah.
So the maintenance, you have to meet the £68, 60p a week times 4 weeks. And then the single parent is £74, 70p times 4 weeks, plus your rent and your council tax. And then you have to earn at least that amount of money every month. Once you meet that threshold, then you meet the maintenance requirement. The financial requirement only comes in when you are married. But if you are not married and you have been doing it you are switching based on your child, you only have to meet the maintenance requirements. How to maintain yourself and maintain your child. But if it is marriage, then it is financial. That is where the 18,600 and etc. comes in. So we've looked at R, relationship, I, immigration, F or M, maintenance, and the E is the English language requirement. You have to write the English language test at level A2. A2. If the person is coming from Ghana, they write A1. Once you enter the UK and you have to renew, it is A2.
Okay.
So if you are in the UK and you want to apply based on your child to switch from the 10 years to the 5 years, you have to meet the A2. It is not difficult at all. It is just speaking and listening. It's not written. You don't write any test. It's just speaking and listening. And as for Ghanaians, all of us, we can speak Ashibri, Shibri, Kuntumbre. We can all speak something. So as for that, when it comes to that, we can all communicate. So it's not a big problem at all. Hello, how are you? Where are you coming from today? What do you like to do? Before you realize it is 10 minutes, the test is over. It's easy. And then the next one is accommodation. You have to show that you meet the accommodation requirement. Now, if you look at Part X of the Housing Act of 1996 in the UK, it provides for the number of people who have to be in a room. 1 room is for 2 people. 2 rooms is for 3 people. 3 rooms is for 5 people. 4 rooms is for 7.5 people. I don't know where the half came from. And then, and then 5 rooms is 2 to 1 room. Now, the reason why they do this, they don't want overcrowding in a house. They don't want overcrowding in a house. And overcrowding can lead to diseases, etc., etc., etc. So they don't want overcrowding. So 1 room, 2 people, 2 rooms, 3 people, 3 rooms, 4 people, 3 rooms, 5 people, 4 rooms, 7.5, 5 rooms, 2 to a room. If you can meet this 4 requirements, RIFEA, Rafia, R, relationship, I, immigration, F or M for maintenance, E for English language, and A for accommodation, then you meet the requirements to switch from the 10 years to the 5 years, relying on the appropriate case laws and the right provision of the law. That is Appendix FM LRTPT 1.1 onwards. Then you can apply to switch from the 10 years to the 5 years. That is for people who are doing it based on their child as a parent. The second category is if you want to do it to switch from 10 years to become a partner, that is based on marriage. Now, partnership has 2 different definitions. One, either you are married and you have the marriage certificate to show, or you are not married, but you have lived together with a woman for 2 years. You are either married and you have the marriage certificate, or you are not married, but you have lived together for 2 years. You are classified as a partner. You are classified as a partner. In that case, you can also apply to switch to reduce the 10 years to 5 years. I'll go through the list again. Again, you need the relationship R with your wife. You have to show that you are with your wife. You don't live somewhere and she lives somewhere and say you are with her. The Home Office would not accept that. So you have to prove that you are living in the same household. It's either with your wife or with your husband, depending on who is making the application. So R is a relationship. I, you still have to have a valid leave. If your leave expires or your visa expires, you cannot switch to the 5-year route. You have to have a valid visa before you can switch to the 5-year route. F, financial requirement. That is where the 18,600 comes in. You remember when I talked about the maintenance, it is 68 pounds, etc., and 74 pounds. But when it comes to financial, which is based on marriage, it has to be 18,600 pounds a year before tax. If there is a child added to it, it is plus 3,800 pounds. So you are looking at 22,400. If it is you and a child, then it is 22,400. So that must be satisfied. Now, with regards to that, you need a lot of documents. I'll mention the documents when I get to the bottom of the page. The next thing is you have to meet the English language test. I've already mentioned it. It is English language test level A2. A2. But if you have a degree from Ghana, you do not have to write the English language test. All you do is you take the certificate and you send it to UK NARIC. There is an organization called UK NARIC, NARIC. You send the certificate and your transcript to them, and then they would assess it and say that the certificate you have from Ghana is equivalent to a degree in the UK. In that case, you do not have to write the English language test. The next thing is the accommodation. I've already mentioned it. 1 room is for 2 people, 2 rooms, 3 people, 3 rooms, 5 people, 4 rooms, 7.5, 5 rooms, 2 to a room. And that comes under Part X of the Housing Act of 1996 in the UK. What documents would you use to apply? What documents would you use to apply? You need your passport. You need your wife's passport. You need your child's birth certificate and child's passport, because this is the case where you are doing it based on a partnership, but there is a child involved. You need your tenancy agreement or your mortgage document if you have one. You need 6 months pay slips, to show that you are actually earning the money you claim you are earning. You need your P60 to show that the money that reflects on your P60 is actually above the 18,600. But you can add yours and your wife's to it, and that takes you above the 18,600. You can have to add 6 months bank statement, 6 months payslip, 6 months bank statement. You have to add a letter from the employer, and the letter from the employer has to state the type of work you do. Is it permanent? Is it contract? Is it agency? How much you earn? When you started earning that level of salary, and also how long you've been in the employment. The employer's letter has to state these 4 to 5 things. With that, you of course have to prove if you are not married, but yours is a partnership, then you have to add documents to show that you've lived together with your wife for 2 years. And with that, I can assure you that you will be switched from the 10 years to the 20 years. Now, another category of people who can also switch is this. If you are on a 20-year route, you've been given 20 years, you've lived in the UK for 20 years, and you've been given 2.5 years to be here on a 10-year route, and you marry a British citizen, or you marry somebody who has indefinite leave to remain, you can prove the relationship is genuine, etc., then you can also apply to switch from the 10-year route to a partner. Or if you have a child and the child is British, you can switch from the 20-year route on a private life to a parent of a British citizen child on the 5-year route. So generally, these are the routes you can do, or these are the ways you can switch or reduce the 10 years to the 5 years, and you get your indefinite. And after the indefinite, you'll now be aiming for your British citizenship. So generally, this is just an eye-opener kind of information that if there are any questions, I'm more than happy to respond.
Okay. Wow, thanks very much, Lawyer Wisdom. Thanks so much for this very detailed explanation of the various policies. And I know the introductory aspect was also very interesting. I have a few questions sent out to me.
Yeah, sure.
Somebody wanted to ask a question that if you lost your letter of approval for indefinite leave to remain, and subsequently the biometric ID card is expired, now you want to renew your biometric ID card without a reference number, how do you go about it?
What happens is, if you lose, they normally send it to your email.
Okay, I think the person lost everything.
Right. If you lose everything, first of all, you have to find out the document you use for the application. If it is your passport, you can go online to EU Settlement Scheme. There's a section that you say, view your status. View your status. Then you enter the documents you use. If you use a passport, you enter the passport number and your date of birth. It will pull it out for you, not the letter, but it will give you your picture will come to show that you've been granted the leave to remain. You can use that. You can print it as evidence that when you're applying for a replacement card, replacement card, you can attach that, you can upload that as evidence. They will check their own records and then they'll issue you another card to replace the lost card.
Okay, so what about a British citizen who lost those documents?
If you're a British citizen and you've lost what, the card or what?
The letter of approval from the Home Office. Just you've lost the documents from the Home Office to prove that you've been given this.
They can take this number 0300 123
and call the Home Office.
And call the Home Office.
Okay.
0300.
Okay.
123.
Yeah.
7379.
Okay.
0300 123 7379.
Yep.
You should call the Home Office, tell them, unfortunately, I've never received my letter. I want to know whether I got it or not. And then the Home Office will take your details and then they'll take your email and say, oh, we sent it to you. Say, well, I never received it. then they should send you another copy.
Okay, that's good. Thanks very much. And then
Yes.
there is another question with regards to application for biometric card. That I think that has been with the Home Office for quite some time. The person has been granted, I think, settled status, but the biometric card has not arrived and it's taking longer. And the person checked on the Home Office website, says still not arrived yet. Is there time scales to that, or is just
Yes. Now, if the person already had a biometric residence card, the Home Office will not issue you a new card.
Okay.
You will then have to apply for the new card after you've been granted the settled status or the pre-settled status.
Yeah.
And that is what we call the replacement card.
Yeah.
Yes, we call it the replacement card. Give me a minute, please.
Okay.
I have 10 cards here. People whose cards have all come. And they haven't come to collect it because they know that the immigration cannot do anything to them at home. Yeah, I have 10 cards here. People's cards have come. They are all here.
Yeah.
Now, this is what happens. Once you get it, you apply, the Home Office will then. Now, even when they see the police, they stop them and ask them for their own house address because they know
That's right.
They know the immigration cannot do anything. So they have to apply, or if he has applied and it is delaying, there is a link that they have to request for biometric not delivered.
Okay.
Then the Home Office will get back to them that they will reissue another one. In the event that it has not been issued, they will reissue a new one.
Okay.
And send it to you. But normally they tell you 7 to 10 working days.
Yeah.
These days, sometimes it goes beyond the 10 working days because things aren't normal as they used to be.
Yeah.
Or if they came to the house and they didn't meet anybody, they will take it back. Then you have to request for it again. So that is that side. But like I was saying, if the person had the old biometric card, they will not issue you a new card. You have to apply to replace the old card.
Okay.
You have to apply to replace the old card. But if you had it in your passport, and some people had their sticker in their passport.
Yeah.
In that case, they will issue you a card straight away after it's been approved.
Okay. All right.
So it's not all lost. They can call me and I can show them. I'll give them the link and how to request for. Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. Thanks very much, Lawyer Wisdom.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So please, I think the lines are open. In case you have questions, you could please unmute yourself and ask your question. We still have Lawyer Wisdom with us. We've got about 44 minutes to go. Any question from the open floor?
Yeah.
Sine Sule.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, please.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Your network is fluctuating. Is it only me, or because I can't hear you clearly?
Yeah, I can't hear him too.
Can you hear?
Yes, it's a little better now. Yes.
Okay, I think maybe it's my volume. I like to speak in the Potokasa. Is that okay?
100%.
That's good. That's good. Because sometimes the word in the English to put it in right, so in the Potokasa, you can hear. Thank you. All right. Me 2.5.
Okay.
But me
yeah.
It is about accommodation. Me more than almost 22,000 a year.
Okay.
So the accommodation, send me a proper place. I said, dine.
Okay. Who per council there now? Person I will tell you.
No. Me per council there first, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So who per council there now? First of all, so over 2.5 years. We really will manage now 2.5 now.
No, only a British. Me banning a British.
Okay.
Me buy a British automatical.
Okay.
Me use but because of also follow the same process na same ya. But say only the 7.5 no.
Okay.
But me say me come 5 years no.
All right. Okay. Yeah. And see, we run your 7.5, and now 5 years. Yeah. Ban a British citizen.
Yeah.
Before, we card no so no much also said no recourse to public funds and
yes, I think maybe some question. How much trust?
Yes. And the first thing is that someone chose no recourse to public funds. I want to make NG council property because council property is part of the public funds. As we say, we application to remove no recourse from Mokad Nisu. So, no recourse Fiswa. Then you can apply for the council property. Now, how do you do that application? Application. Number 1, application be your friend of change of condition. Into Google to say I now enter change of condition form. You fill it. Who complete area, who dear, and we read there, and then we balance the details records. Then what happens next is that our person will say, answer na yebe buawono. Financial situation at the same. And for 6 months pay slips, bra. For 6 months bank statement, we re-enter the 6 months pay slips, 6 months bank statement. Ubama waya bofrano so. Ye pese say what be account be amana na sika bi ewo ho ana. Ye mpese ye di be ma wo mreku a wo sika wo di ate baby. Now pese wo gi benefit. And then say let's see your life, let's see your finance. So they want to see your 6 months pay slips, 6 months bank statement of all the accounts you have in the UK, every account. And then they'll look at it and see, say, Mawukra, ampa, sika wuji no. You share expenses are we any sika wuji, any we regia, and coin limiti. You be use our condition no if you was so. No wait me up benefit. Now so almost share them say, maybe I wuji 22, wife and suji 10. The boma 32,000. Now then to amount me material needs in that case, any idea. You be use that condition if you will so. So they will have to assess and determine whether we will be from destitute. Destitute nature say unya sika emfa rent die. Although who sika would share with any uba or duane ho. Ana who sika would rent die. Now so many sika modi beto duane di. You have to be in one of these categories before they will remove that no recourse to public funds from your card. If they do it, if they remove it, you are free to approach the council for council housing, and then you can get it. So 1 year, then you will not be able to go to the council housing.
So thank you for that. Yamfani says issue case mi banu. So on ankasa beti me apply because of the time I say we should apply because the age you say you are almost 19 or university now. But me na me bibia.
Okay, so Wobano apply for council property. Ebewo onuni demo. Ebewo abofrani demo. And of course, there will have to be assessments as to whether the child is eligible for the council property. Again, remember it is a household. Household. Household means father, mother, children, or child. They'll take into consideration everybody's earnings within that household before they would make that decision. So yes, I'll let me apply, but bear in mind that they may come again asking for all those other things. And the danger is this. So or cancer or your independent or one or yani papa ni mamia, then your 2.5 is in danger. The mother's 2.5 is in danger because he's no longer depending on you. Wow. He's now independent. Ukwa, they refuse the application. So we have to be very careful how we compute all of this. Yes.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thanks
very
so
much.
much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, there is a hand up. Bash, could you unmute yourself, please, and ask your question, Bash?
Good evening.
Good evening, Bash. How are you?
Me here now here.
Me we are Chale, mama Phyllis Akura Pao.
Really dear was yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Really a quick one.
Yeah.
Me apply me dear and me apply for waiver and mommy waiver no.
Very good.
Yeah. And after waiver no and mommy me krata
Good.
2.5. And your mommy 2.5 no. Me pese me hu kwan so a make me a switch no to the 5 years no, because man t explanation no me ba when mu late into man t explanation say the okay no, so person me who say the met me afa atum et me switch to 5 years no, and we so omo ma me no e cost 7 months no me passport wo ho omo fa me passport amma me anya amma me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, my brother Bash.
Yeah.
Now, when you say, Ansana, Uber to me, I switch it to 5 years no.
Yeah.
Bisu relationship, immigration, financial or maintenance, English language, and accommodation.
Okay.
Now, financial literacy and mental literacy, what to make sure we ba.
Yeah.
And I'll show you a buy no wow. Now, say, who GP waiver now almost is no recourse nephew so. That's a buy na air and you don't meet the maintenance or the financial requirements. I hope you understand it. Yes. So you have to you are muted.
Mimi Diano, I am entitled to public refund. Public
funds.
Yeah. Public funds, yeah.
Yes. Now, if you are entitled to public funds, it only means that you are not able to meet your own financial needs. That is why the government is supporting you. It then means that you don't meet the financial or the maintenance requirements. So I hope you understand it. If you're able to meet your own maintenance, you don't need the government to support you. It's only because you can't meet your maintenance, that is why the government is supporting you or giving you the public funds. In that case, you do not meet the 4 requirements, the RIFEA. You don't meet the 5 requirements. And therefore, you have to remain on the 10-year routine. So it's 2 things. Either you switch to 5 years, you work hard, switch to 5 years, after 5 years you get indefinite, or you remain at the 10 years and then you can have access to the public funds for that period of time.
What does
yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks very much, Lawyer Wisdom. We've got 4 minutes to go. Any other question from the floor, please?
No. I have a question, please.
Sorry?
I have a question.
All right, go ahead, please.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. My friend received a free settle.
Mm-hmm.
Has been granted. That was last 2 months ago. But he did not receive the card yet.
Okay.
So, are they going to drop the card on the mailbox, or are they going to hand it over to the owner, or how are they going to do? Can they keep it in the mailbox, or definitely they have to hand it over to someone?
They have to. Ideally, they have to give it to somebody, and even possibly ask for an ID, and the person can sign. But sometimes we have, excuse me, some very lazy DPD and these delivery guys. They can just come, drop it at the door or through the letterbox and go away, which is not supposed to be the case, because this is a secure document. Your biometric card is a secure document. It has got all your details on it. So ideally, 7 to 10 working days. Within that window, you should be looking out for it. They should be able to drop it or give it to somebody.
It's getting to 2 months. still yet.
Then he has to follow up. He has to call the Home Office, not the Home Office. There's an online link. You can call me tomorrow in the office. I'll get my one of my lawyers to give you the link so that you have to email that biometric hasn't arrived, and then they'll be able to. Or even if you look on, if your friend looks on the letter that the Home Office wrote, the email that the Home Office wrote to him, somewhere it says if you do not receive it within 7 to 10 working days, you can email them. You should just follow that link and email them. Say he hasn't received. They would issue. If it's lost, they'll issue a new one. If it's been delivered, they'll let you know that it's been delivered. Or if it's on its way, they'll let you know that it's on its way.
All right. Great. Thank you.
There are delays sometimes. Sometimes there are delays. So just follow up anyway. But 2 months is a long time, so please follow up. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks very much, Wisdom. Just a follow-up question with regards to DNA. Is DNA completely wiped out with regards to every application to the Home Office?
Okay. The Home Office's own guidance policy on DNA says caseworkers should not, in capital letters, should not ask for DNA. However, they also went on to say the person themselves can volunteer to provide the DNA to support their case. So let me give you an example. I am dealing with a case. The man is a British citizen. He has a few children in Ghana who are supposed to be British because he had his citizenship before the children were born.
Yeah.
So the children are automatically British citizens. Maybe one day we'll treat how a child can become British.
Okay.
And maybe the next month, God willing, inshallah, we'll treat how the child. So remind me, and I will treat that.
All right.
Yeah. Now, because he was British before the children were born in Ghana, the children are automatically British.
Yeah.
We are in the process of applying for their British citizenship for them, their passport, actually.
Yeah, passport.
But the Home Office says, prove that you were in Ghana when the woman got pregnant.
Yeah.
Because you cannot be in the UK and send it by DHL.
Bluetooth.
So you have to prove that you were in Ghana when the woman conceived. Number 2, prove that you were involved in the child or the children's life, in the hospital, pictures you've taken with their children, etc., etc. Now, to cut a long story short, what they want to do is for you to prove that you are truly the parent of the children. To cut a long story short, the man has decided to do DNA, and the DNA is conclusive that he's the father of the children. So all the additional documents and things they're asking for back and forth, you may not have to add all of that. So he has decided to volunteer the DNA. They have not asked him for it, but he has volunteered it just to make it easier for him. But the Home Office policy guidance says caseworkers must not, in capital, for DNA.
Okay. Oh, that's really good. Thanks very much for that clarifications. I think we take the last question from Imrana. Thereafter, we wrap up and then we draw the curtains down for today. Imrana, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Unmute.
Hello, good evening. Good evening.
The baby wants to take
part. Master Tinden.
Ayo, unswe.
Ya me na adom ebusia fo hye.
Adom obia ho ye, e ready ase.
Ya na ase. Mo question bi a me pede bi sa, ade wo fe na den yi be hye na yi ni hye. Ba yi ni hye ni na owomba.
Can you all hear him?
Na office was send you letter there.
Na question kana sabu ka fara sabu ba jinka.
Monsieur.
Hello.
I'm saying line no. Line no, but with your course, I'll manage it.
Master, you catch there. In Ibesia na enu Okay, see. This is how it
Imran, line can be the show. Line can be the show. What would you kasam?
Oh, yeah,
Imagana.
Yanzu ana jina.
Yeah, Imagana.
Masa me patche de ibien wo na bo na ma hwamba na 2 to 3 years. No, so wa bo na wo de wa mo 2.5. No, no, so wa bo 2.5 years. But wo wa be 1 year time na is receive letter wo home office there. O people nwa cancel. Ni fu tu yima da wo ye ya wo bi se wo se be tie efifi o ni ntina. Or can be seen no if you want to should be natina. Now the what can see, can you fight it another beje now our cock?
And Papa Nidian no can say
Yeah, Papa Nidian no can say.
Okay.
One knows wound the washing the letter there. What can see will be sure there, but into no can see. I was be seeing wait to if you want to be seeing what cancel. Paper and so on be seeing soon or don't if you want. Now I didn't okay see the main but to my fight another big no I didn't come a
Okay. And sorry to hear this. This is quite sad. Now, only Bessiano Omoba.
She said, because okay, the own CC or wedding him and wedding man or 6 months. I'm not getting there. She be about no should be no tina. Into your 6 months time, at least don't you 1 year, exactly 1 year. No receiving letter and there.
All right.
What cancel? Yeah.
And now maybe say only Bessiano Omankasa Momiano no Omo eba.
Dabi we need baby no.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That is good. Now, some application or under Appendix FMLRTPT, and then in conjunction with Appendix FMLRP 1.1 A, B, C, E onwards, and on the condition that, with reference to GEN 3.2, near actually said. Abofrani you step child, and yet biological job step child.
Yeah.
As a son who need Abofrani mame, you must have some relationship.
Okay.
Because one to me end na obifu for basu. One require when Abofrani mame no munti the same address. Okay. And the only man because not only mame no now muti the same address. Yeah. Once a relationship now break it down, when if you know the connection between ono any abofrane mameno is broken. And once the connection is broken, any idea ono bet me akwa kofa abofrane school bio, any abofrane ko GP bio, because you are not connected to the child's mother anymore. And nothing a mameno reported to the home office no. Omo akanso ne dia no. E ye ono ankasa ni biological child. And it doesn't matter. Papa no bet na Birmingham. Abofrane or London. As long as a papa in a biological child, our contact no. Immediate, when fifio, omo wario, still no, or bet me and sitting. The only difference is one is biological child, one is a stepchild. Stepchild, as I said, on your Abofrane mame, what that connection. And son of it me stepchild nesu. Biological child, when you have a mame, one giant, only connection because of Ubano, still no, so bet me to answer because of your child. And the only problem is that, unfortunately, only mammy neighbor, mammy banusun or deny, and it's only relationship with mamina egua, and I say, then it's just technically, as it's now based on mameno only bano, and also that is the problem he had, yes.
Okay.
Still, no.
Yeah.
No, or Fightikra is not going to go anywhere because the woman is not going to cooperate.
Okay.
He's going to be wasting money. He's going to be giving me money for nothing. I will take the money, but the answer is zero. Nothing will come out of it.
Okay.
And see, the best thing he has to do is this. Sir, obet me wow. No apobabu fra oba, and no longer uba. Then bingo, obet me switch to Nibano, and now the new partner now, or Banasu. But the outside there is not going to be worth spending money to challenge it, to go to court. It's going to be a wasted money that is throwing away. It's going to be money that is going to be thrown away.
Okay, Mr. Wisdom, into see I back share there into lawyer be our kind of face camera or Bob Warm now, may the Maka turn back on the old Jimmy's can wait the qua.
Miria, with the Bremia, Mediqua, outcome is 0. Because I am telling you the truth that as long as the woman is not cooperating, as long as you are not, the still relationship is not there, that money, you'll be throwing it away. Rather look for another option to sort yourself out. In that case, genuine relationship is there, or you have your own child. I can guarantee you, in that case, 100%. I know, dear, if I'm charging you, I know the outcome is going to be positive. But with this one, even if you give it to me, I'll tell you the truth, my brother. This one, there is no guarantee, absolutely no guarantee. I can't give you even 10% guarantee. But if you insist, say me, yeah, my Jessica, no more receipt. My child to paper say, I've advised you, and you still want me to do it. And then you will sign. Sign, yeah, you don't come and blame me because I've already advised you that it's not going to work out. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's very fair. He's been explained. So
Yeah.
I think Gaia, you've got your response.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. So on that note, I would like to, on behalf of Zumunta Association and all our listeners, say a very big thank you to Lawyer Wisdom. Once again, Lawyer Wisdom, the office is based at Dawson, London. Imran, mute yourself, please. Mute yourself. Yeah, Lawyer Wisdom is based at Dalton in London. So once again, I will type out his number. Sarki, can you help do just type his number on the chat just for everyone to pick up? So once again, we say a very big thank you to you. I don't know if Sarki wants to have a comment or Senior Majid, I think is also on the line.
Before they come in, let me just run that. The gentleman who asked the last question, if for any reason, the relationship between him and the woman is restored, unfortunately, he has to make a fresh application again. Because whatever has been canceled goes waste. He has to make a fresh application. If the relationship is restored, you have to go through the same process again and make a fresh application. They will give it to you, but it has to be a fresh application. But how do you know that when they give it to you again, she's not going to change her mind? And
he needs to behave himself.
He needs to behave himself.
Yeah.
All right. So that is my advice for you, my brother.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much once again. We can't thank you enough. We really appreciate your time with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got an hour-long free legal advice, I should say, and then we've got details of Lawyer Wisdom. Whoever is found in trouble or you have some gray areas you need support with, his contact is shared on the screen at the moment. Please make contact and then advertise the firm also to most especially our community where you feel more comfortable. You speak the local language, you'll be able to express yourself. There's confidentiality also involved, so which is key. So on that note, we say a very big thank you and then have a blessed evening.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to be with you every month, Madam Wasik. I mean, I am so grateful. How do you say thank you in
Nagode?
Nagode.
Oh, Nagode.
Nagode, yeah.
All right. God bless you.
JSS won't even causa. Zambo pan, I want to make causa dear.
I was teaching there. I was a teacher.
Oh, you are the teacher. Okay. Yeah. It's closer to my house there.
Oh, I say, just behind the mosque, right?
Yeah.
I see.
Exactly. No. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Bye. Bye. So, Jamal, wanna go there. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming out today. At least people logged in quite early on time today, which is really good. So we hope to get Lawyer Wisdom back by the end of July. That means the last weekend of July. And inshallah, this time around, we'll try to get one of our scholars to deliver a lecture either on a Saturday and then Lawyer Wisdom will come on the Sunday. Or we could have both on the same day, maybe an hour each. It depends on what the Ummah are happy with. By then, the football season would have been over, so people would not be hooked up by the football. And then just a quick reminder also, our monthly rent is due. So we have 3 more days to the end of the month. Please, we need contributions coming up. And if there are volunteers also to contribute, Alhamdulillah, we are happy to receive. So these are the few announcements that I have for the community. So Senior Majid, you haven't said anything. Bake magana ba senior.
And last step is going on another zoo.
Yeah.
That's the abuse about it wrong. I've been getting a shade of top money.
Okay, that's fine.
I was so far think Kai Magana Duka.
So all right, that's really good. So
Chama.